There's all this stuff written in the prompter about the man we're getting ready to interview, but I'm not reading any of it. Al Allen is here. We don't need an introduction. He is Detroit News. He's been covering it forever here, and when I see you, you just make me smile. Al, thanks for coming in, man.
That's okay. Glad to be here.
We
Glad to be seen here, too.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
We appreciate you. We really do. The station's coming up on 75 years. You spent how many years here covering the news?
28 years here.
28 years covering Detroit News. The biggest story.
You know, there's several. He says the guy's old, so he knows a whole lot about what's going on. One was Aretha Franklin. I can tell this story now, but I knew the first time she had the pancreatic cancer. And I was told, and then I was told, shut up and don't say nothing to nobody, which I didn't. All right, so I held it all back. Then I got a call the second time, which is the one that ended up being her life ending. And I knew then. But I was told not to say anything. But as it got closer, I started getting more phone calls and more people saying, it's okay, you know, but I hadn't told the station yet.
How did you feel when you heard that news, Al? And you had to keep it to yourself, obviously, you know, initially.
Good journalists, and I'm not saying I'm a good journalist, but good journalists keep the best stories to themselves. And you never know when you may have to use that story. And it's a tool to get you more people to give you information.
To build trust.
Build trust.
How'd you get Coleman Young's phone number, man?
You know what? No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, and I've always told interns, don't go to the director of communications. Go to there's a person in every one of the people who are big and do stuff. There's a person called a scheduler. I used to send her flowers. I used to give her candy. She would tell me when Coleman went to the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is how she gave me, I said, now he's going to Lansing, it was a huge story. And he's going to cuss the people out in Lansing because they didn't do what they wanted to do.
That's what he did.
That's what he does. But that's how I got to him in Lansing.
Y'all ever become friends because you were drinking with him? I heard you drank with him.
Wait a minute, I'll tell you, there's a beginning to this story. Buddy by the name of Bert Allen, who's no relation, who worked with the Big 8, CKLW. He used to drive, he was a reporter. He drove a souped-up Firebird Pontiac, all right? You could hear him coming, okay? He would say at the press club, where's the coffee? There ain't no coffee, I'm leaving. That's this kind of stuff we used to do. But back to what happened, I was just, there are other people, like I said, a scheduler that will help you. Not his person that you think would give you information, but other people do. You have to, like, sell yourself and build yourself up. I'm an honest guy. If you don't want me to tell it, I won't tell it. Right. So this is how you do that. But the people you think that will give you information, don't go to them.
Al, I think that's part of your longevity is one thing, of course, first in radio and then in television. But I think your honesty, is that what left such a mark with people, is that the way you communicate through the lens, people really responded and continue to remember that.
I didn't know that, but I guess they did. But you know, you're trying to get information out of them, and you want to become a member of the family as well. See, I'm up to no good. I put it like that. But trying to get information, and like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't want to talk to you, but after a while they calm down, and then I had to get them to shut up because they're talking too long. I ain't got that much time, you know. But that's what you do. You build trust. And like I said, and there's one thing, and I've done it, and it seems to work for me. I am not the person that you think. I always want you on the spotlight, not me. I'm just the messenger. That's what I am. Deliver the message.
Well, not today. Today you are in the spotlight.
28 years at Fox 2, 17 years before that at WJLB, 45 years covering Detroit news. I guess it'd be a long question to say what has changed over over that time, but what is the biggest change over that 4 decades plus of covering news in Detroit that you...
Oh, I can tell you, some people are not going to like this. Back in the day, we believed strongly in breaking news. We believed in being competitive.
Yeah.
You know, we have a story, you don't want the competition to have the story. Nowadays, because of the digital era, or social media, whatever, they give everything. You know, I don't want to see this story on the competition, you know, but now they share it. I don't share that.
That's the news director coming out of you right there. You're a news director.
You own that story. And I've always told interns, your biggest story, the most important award-winning story, is the breaking news story. You know, and this is where you do things and win awards for.
Well, I got to ask you about the Lions.
No. They ain't gonna win. I hate to say that. You know,
You've seen a lot of Lions games, though.
Yeah. I don't know where the hype is coming from, but I just don't think they can beat Kansas City. I just don't.
But the season overall is looking real good.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? That coach, I'm not a fan of his.
Oh, wow.
I just don't. I think there's still something missing. There are people who always tell me they should sell the team. You've heard that before. You've heard that before.
That's after the season happens, though, Al. After the season's over.
Al,
That's when people say that.
This is when hope is.
Hope is right now.
Eternal right now.
We hope. We can hope and pray at the same time. But
you're still wearing a little blue over there.
Well,
Mr.
yeah.
Al.
And I shouldn't, because my son graduated from Michigan State.
Al, station's 75 years old. You've seen the station for a very long time, on camera, and even in your retirement watching us. If there's one thing you could say about this station, what would it be?
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you, it's one thing, and I've talked about this, and I get in trouble. I have a radio background, so people, you know about radio. You ad-lib everything. You don't hold these cards and stuff.
Right.
I think it's so bad when I see people, well, let me ask you a question, and they pull this thing up in front of you on TV. You don't want that.
A card?
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
Just have a conversation.
Like they're following a script. I got you.
Just have a
And the
conversation.
other thing is, I have had some of the greatest shooters around.
Yeah, cameraman,
They would take care of me, and if I'm like, a lot of times, we're doing a story and I do a live shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get carried away.
Yeah.
And my photographers would say, Al, come closer, turn around. See, that's the ones that make you look good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So those things, is a good part of that.
It's always the people.
Teamwork.
Always
the people. Yeah.
There's teams of people trying to make us look good, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We've
Al
been
Allen,
Like Joe Weaver used to tell us, y'all remember Joe Weaver, who drank up everything, and told me, Al, always get you a liquid lunch. But he said, be nice to your shooters. He says, buy them lunch, buy a newspaper, go to their kid's birthday party, anniversaries and stuff, and they'll make you look good. And that's what you want. Because I'm not, I'm not that good, but
hey, you are that good. You're Al Allen, man. Hey, everybody in here, people coming in from everywhere just to see you. Give them a round of applause. Al Allen in the house, everybody. It's love, man. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you all inviting me.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Invite you back real soon, Joe.
Oh, man.
Thanks for watching The Nine.
Am I okay? Am I here?
You are
You're
perfect.
good, bro.
You
Let's
go
go,
wherever
man.
you want to go.
75 years of JBK.
No.
And Al Allen was here for 28 of them. Yeah, iconic.
I was telling Brandon the story. Coleman Young was mayor. We did a lot of stories with Coleman because he would cuss us all out.
He was a very colorful character.
Oh, wait a
Verbose,
minute. It was one time we were up in the press room, in his office, going to a news conference. And this woman was in there. She kept questioning him about something, all right? Coleman, I said, something's going on. Coleman looked at her and he says, who are you? And we said, uh-oh. And she says, I am somebody from the Communist Socialist Workers Party. He said, well, you're going to get your Communist Social Worker Party's ass out of here. We're on the floor.
He
now.
really just said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He
And wait a
really
minute.
just said it.
Security, he fired that cop because he said, you let her in here.
Wow.
And he always accused Coleman of being a communist, and he never was. He just didn't like things, and he'd tell you about it.
How great was that guy to cover? Like, just, I mean, it was like the gift that kept on giving if you were in news.
He called me Columbo. And I said, after a while, I said, I know who you are. So I said, why do you call me Columbo? Because you stand back there with that raggedy-ass trench coat on, and you wait until the last question, then you ask this asinine question, just like Columbo.
That's funny.
What got you started and stuck with news? What was the thing that made you want to do this?
You know what? Since I was a kid, I grew up down south. And when you grew up down south and you're a child, you don't sit there and ask questions. You, at the dinner table, you don't ask questions, all right? You're very courteous or you get hit. If you get hit one day, you says, what you hit me for? Because of something you might do next week. And I'm like that. And I would ask, I had this habit of asking questions.
You were naturally inquisitive.
Yeah, I would just,
Yeah.
And you weren't supposed to do that, so I would get hit again. But I used to run to things as opposed to run away. Right. I was just intrigued by finding out things.
I want to ask you some of your favorites. How many years have you lived in Detroit?
We came here when I was 13.
Okay, so it's been...
I didn't want to leave Little Rock because I had a lot of good friends in Little Rock.
What are some of your favorites about either Metro Detroit or Michigan? Is there a favorite place that you like to go visit, a body of water that you like to sit by, and when you need some peace and quiet, is there any special place that you go to?
There's several. Oh, there's a place in Michigan. I can't think of the name now, but it's like in the middle of the state. And my son had a job, and his president of the company had a house, a resort there. And so he took us up there, and it was really nice. It was right off of Lake Michigan. It was very nice. But one of the best places I like is going out to Belle Isle.
Yeah.
We love Belle Isle.
Yeah.
Because I used to take my wife out there and we were dating, and you do things out there you don't tell anybody else.
What happens on Belle Isle
stays on Belle Isle. Did you ever hear the story about Charlemagne? You know who Charlemagne is?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had Smokey Robinson on one day. And they always say when you get old, you tell everything.
The original Charlemagne.
The original Charlemagne.
Yeah.
So he asked him, he says, we heard you used to date Diana Ross. He said, oh, man, yeah, several times. So he says, did you fall in love with her? Did you think about marriage? Oh, hell no, I was married.
What's it like being back in the station, man? What's it like being back? We're all so happy to see. Every time I see you in the hallway, people are gathered around. In the newsroom, people are gathered around. What's this like for you?
I don't know. People still ask me for autographs. They want to see their papers. And it's like, I've been retired 10 years,
Yeah.
But we loved you,
I saw you at the mall a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
you had your son with
I
you?
said, yes. And I said, Al, we miss you at the station. And you said the same thing. I've been gone 10 years. That's what leaving an impact on people and a place does, though.
But
right?
I'm one of those who, I remember, it's the viewer that's the most important person, not you. You cater to them because they're the ones who pay your bills, all right? Your house note, send your kids to private school, all that stuff. So, yeah, I cater to them. But I also have this one incident. Guy was getting his sons ready to go to school, and it was in wintertime. And for whatever reason, it was snowing that day. And I didn't have my hat on because I didn't think it was going to snow. He calls the station, tells them to tell Al Allen to put a damn hat on because my kids said they ain't going to school because they don't want to wear a hat.
Right.
Al don't have a hat on, so I don't need a hat on.
You set the tone, man. You set the tone for so many.
I just show up. I show up for work every day.
It's
Yes,
so
you did.
good to reminisce with you. And thanks, we've been watching videos of your other appearances. With the station getting ready to celebrate 75 years, and you're right. It all comes down to the viewers.
It does.
It really does.
It really does.
You guys have us in your homes or on your computer,
phone,
on your phone.
However you do it.
Yeah.
Detroit this area is a country town. People migrated from the South here, all right?
Yeah.
And they don't like changes. They want to see
Thank goodness, right?
That's right. Thank goodness. They want to see you every day. They want to see you sitting down and telling me the news.
That's right.
They might
love
not
that.
agree with you,
And
but they
don't
want to
agree.
see you.
But they get angry. They really do. They love to see you. And when Dina would do something, she goes on vacation. They're like, "Where's Dina?" You know, but that's the way they are around here.
I know it is a special place, and we all appreciate it, and we appreciate you. It's so good to see you.
Oh, hey.
Al, can I,
You stay in
as
touch.
we send it to break, can I just get one Allen Fox 2 News?
Oh yeah, here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah, yeah.
maybe do it on that. Do it on there. Do it on that camera.
This camera right here?
Do a sign
All
off.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Al Allen, Fox 2 News.